Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, and we are back with another game. We've got hades250 playing Stitched here, Under Depths, Forsaken Waste. And then we've got Fallis, hopefully not short for Fallisio, playing Full Faction Forsaken Waste. He's gone with kind of an unorthodox opening. He went with Disturbed Spirit to grab this font, and then he's moving it back to cap this one. And then put out Corrupted Guardian over here. See, if I was going to go for this play, I think I would have waited on the Corrupted Guardian. There was really no reason to deploy Corrupted Guardian here instead of just dropping him at the font. Like, you kind of wasted a turn's worth of AP by having to move him from there to there. So yeah, just, saving your Nora and deploying the Corrupted Guardian at the font would have been superior. But these guys are definitely not at the tippy top of our elo ladder at the moment. It's always nice to get some lower ranked games as well. I kind of prefer lower ranked games because you never know what you're going to get. Down there things are happening. Things are spicy. Just based on the decks. Corrupted Guardian and Disturbed Spirit with Possess. That is definitely not something you see every day. So we'll see how this plays out. Stitched are kind of good. Like if Fallis is running like a lot of cheapy shit, Stitched are going to be really good into that. Black Pearl on the suppressor. Now, see, I don't know what that's supposed to accomplish right now, but I mean, having your champion teleport is good. I think Stitched suppressor is pretty bad, in all honesty. Like, I wouldn't really advise running him in Stitched. Like, he just doesn't do anything. Like, he's 53 Nora, which is decently cheap, but his stats are garbage. And, like, Mason Spire is really not necessary. Because the relics are 2 HP, but your opponent is going to find some way to finish them. It's inevitable, right? Like, Mason Spire is not worth the body in this case. It might be worth it on the Relic. Just because the Relic is 8 spaces compared to 5, and the Relic is really cheap. And you can just sit it in the back. It also refunds some Nora when you deploy your other relics. So it might be worth a slot, but the champion is just dog water. Like, you don't want this guy. You want some good Stitched, like the Magician or the Warlock, or basically anything else. But Corrupted Guardian here are going to wander towards the font. And I'm guessing Disturbed Spirit is going to... Man, that Disturbed Spirit has a long way to go before he reaches the action. 4 speed... means he'll get there in, let's see, when is the heat death of the universe supposed to happen again? A long time. Very long time. So Disturbed Spirit going to float his way down there, and we'll see what else Fallis has in store for us. Forsaken Waste has a lot of interesting champions at their disposal. We'll see what he's running. It's nice to see new players. I've sometimes wanted to interview, not interview, but just chat with a new player about their thought process when building a deck. Because we all, a lot of us old players, we're pretty up to speed on how deck building is supposed to work. We know we've got the basics down, and we know what we should and shouldn't run, and what's good and what's not. But when you're a new player, when you've just started, everything is fresh, everything is new. Everything is man, this thing looks cool, I want to run that. And you put it in the deck and you're eager to try it out, and it's the bliss of ignorance at its finest, right? But yeah, I've sometimes wanted to talk to new players about their thoughts on how they build their decks. Because sometimes you just have to sit there and wonder, what was he thinking when he had that? Not that any of these champions are really making me think that at the moment. I mean, maybe the suppressor. But other than that, yeah. These are all good champions. But Corrupted Guardian walks into the font. And, Stitched have a pretty good... depending on the deck, Stitched have a good matchup in Forsaken Waste. If Fallis deploys shit like Broken Bones, or, I don't know, any carry-onling nonsense, Hades will have a good time. He's running double Shaman, and both of them with Logistics Life Siphon. I don't know, man. Warlock just seems like a better Shaman right now, and Hexer seems like a better Warlock. So it's why would you? Shaman just doesn't seem worth it anymore. He used to be really the go-to deconstructor, but nowadays all he's got going for him is his price, and that's not enough to justify it when you can run Hexer with much better abilities. But Corrupted Guardian just going to sit in that font with the Elsa and Knight on top of him. He just farting out a big cloud of gunk. onto everybody. And, I mean, it gives him some bonus speed because he is a zombie. But honestly, that didn't seem necessary. Like, from Fallis' perspective, I can see it. Like, you're against 3 ranged units and you want the elusive. But Corrupted Guardian is meant to tank. Like, he has Calcify, he has Tough, he has, you know, Sustain with his Ancient Corruption. The 35 Nora spent on Mist is probably not good at this point when you're really wanting champions. He's got Bone Wing too, though. So Bone Wing also with elusive. Might be a little bit difficult for Hades to get around. I'm really hoping Hades doesn't play Soul Reave and try to get around elusive that way. Because I've seen that happen before in low-ranked games, and it's not a fun time if that happens to you. Like loss of life attacks do not go through elusive. Only precision does. So Suppressor is going to move around. He's going to suppress that Corrupted Guardian again for very little effect. And I guess Shaman is going to take his place in the font. Are we going to see the legendary font rushing stitched suppressor? He's positioning like he wants to teleport into this top font as well, and that would be hilarious. What does that other equip? A Tome of Fated Souls. Okay. Well, at the very least, we can say he's not... Wait, is he running stitched combo? He might have Dark Risings in here. Because Aura would trigger Deconstruct, right? Maybe he is running stitched combo, because you can't do it with Seamstress anymore. You can do it with the Mesmer, though. That'd be pretty sad if I were to see a Dark Rising or 2 come down and then realize, oh, Hades is one of those players. But yeah, I think he might be doing it. Like that tome just screams deconstruct abuse. I don't know. I think the equip should just be changed. I don't think Stitched need the extra deconstruct, because they got a bunch of great deconstruct champions already, and I think there's design space for an interesting set of abilities that the equip could give instead. Like maybe some witch support, maybe some lich support, maybe some bitch support. No. Disturbed Spirit, though, probably going to want to stay away from these shaman, because they do have attack magical. Let's see, another Bone Wing. Wow, 2 Bone Wings versus the Shaman. And yeah, that is not going to be that's not going to be good for Mr. Hades here. He's going to want to be like, what would be a good counter in Stitched to Precision, or to Elusive? I'm trying to, like, they don't have any Precision. They don't have, they have, I mean, melee, of course, but it doesn't seem to be deploying any melee right now. I mean, I guess stuff like any kind of AoE spell will get around it. Normally, Bone Wing is really bad. Like, he is really squishy. Like, you wouldn't really see them. But Fallis is running 2 of them. See, this is like a preference pick, right? Like, good players usually wouldn't run Bone Wing, but sometimes you just see a champion, and you're like, I vibe with that. And I could see Bone Wing being that kind of champion. Like, he looks pretty cool, you know. He's a skeleton bat. And he's got like that purple background. I think the background on this art looks really nice. I mean, it's literally just shades of purple, but I don't know, for some reason it fits. He's like, I don't know, yeah. I could see this being a vibe because he's cheap with elusive. Like, what more do you want? People see elusive and they're like, oh, he can't be hit by range. This is incredible. This is like the best ability ever. And then like the same with intimidating, right? You just want to run the champion for that. But the banner, yeah, and we are seeing the legendary font rushing stitched suppressor. So he drops the banner in the font, and to Hades' credit, he does not try to hit into elusive with the shaman. There, Fallis did go for the Dreadfield. What was that? Another equip going down. What is that now? What bullshit does he have on here? Okay, so he does a Pestilence. That's a lot of Nora on equips, my man. I guess Pestilence to counter the Life Siphon, but he can't even attack because of the elusive. Did he actually? No, he didn't try to hit. Okay, I was going to say, I was hyping you up over here, but if you tried to hit into elusive over here, it would have been a lot worse. So Corrupted Guardian can get a hit. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Moby. I think here, like a Moby and then kill both of these guys, it wouldn't be too bad, right? Because you can get, like, what? 20 here, that's 40 damage. And maybe Spirit can... Nope, need a Spirit. I was going to say Spirit floats in for the kill, but nah. He's going to float over there and latch right on to that Stitch Shaman, preventing him from moving too much. And a Blinking Creeper. Okay, so we're starting to see the makings of what this this deck by Fallis is. It's got Dread, 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 Dread Field. This is very clearly a Spirit deck. Very clearly. So the Bone Wing floats over to the Bex and attacks it. And yeah, I mean, Corrupted Guardian, like even with the Pestilence on here, like it didn't really do anything. Like your Shaman's on 13 HP. Like even if you hit, like Fallis isn't just gonna suddenly be like, oh, I'm rotting, I can't Life Siphon anymore, so I shouldn't hit. Now he's gonna be like, oh, I'm rotting. Anyway, bye Stitch Shaman. So yeah, that equip didn't do too much. Despoil, I'm confused. So that Despoil, I guess, for the globes normally, but there's no globes to be had. I mean, it's preventing spells. That is something. And ooh, there is a Mason Spire from Hades. So he is running the Relic. Okay, so I guess Hades is thinking, man, if I can get like 5 Mason Spires out, then my relics will be unstoppable. But it doesn't really work out that way in practice. And that, I mean, even for blocking purposes, that Mason Spire isn't going to do much because Corrupted Guardian is going to have 9 AP on his next turn. Bone Wing getting the business from Stitched Mesmer, and thankfully, to Hades' credit, he is not running the Stitched combo. No Dark Risings yet. He's just running it for Deconstruct. That's pretty much it, I guess. And Soul Sift. I don't know about Soul Sift on an equip, like, because you're running, how much is this equip anyway? It's like 25 Nora, and from out of Soul Sift, you're probably only getting that much. So it's like, yeah, eventually it's a free equip, depending on what you equip it on. But I mean, I guess you can get a little bit back from Soul Tap, so I don't know. But you have to wait for the champion to die, so it's like, I don't think I'd run it just for that. Like, as a normal equip, if you're not doing the Stitched combo, it's pretty pointless, in my opinion. But there's the Garnet. Okay, so alright. I see you, Hades. So he's running the Garnet, he's running the Gems, probably running Scouring Jaspers as well, and a second Mason Spire. Alright, so Hades building up his little Fortress of Solitude here in the bottom font. And now, okay, so now it's blocking the Guardian. I mean, these Spires with 30 HP, like, it's gonna be a while before Corrupted Guardian chews through them. A Dead Zone Voodoo. Okay, so, man, Fallis going for the Dead Zone Voodoo here against Hades. And I guess that was the point of the Despoil, is to knock back Stitched Seamstress. And he did it. He knocked that Seamstress way the hell back. Again, not to much effect. But these games are hard to judge. Like, I can say, yeah, it's maybe a slight advantage to Hades in this position, but I mean, anything can happen at this elo. Like, anything can happen, and I mean anything. Like, you could have just Moga falling from the sky right now, and I would not be surprised. So Stitched Mesmer taking some pain here. He probably should do a Fear on this from this Bone Wing, right? Because otherwise your Bone Wing's dead. Like, Aura's counter-elusive, melee counters elusive, so much stuff counters elusive. Like, Bone Wing is not nearly as durable as it seems at first. But this one up here going to take out the banner, I'm assuming. And then, man, another unspeakable champion, Risen Yeti. And Risen Yeti is actually good. Like, Risen Yeti is a real boss. Like, he's for 61 Nora, like, these stats are great. Global debuff is great, and, you know, Frightful Aura to buff your defense. I really hope he doesn't eventually get nerfed, because he's like one of the best Dread deck pieces out there. It's funny that he's actually one of the best Dread deck pieces. Like, he's like the best, I would say. And he's not even a Dread champion, but, you know, you can just run him in, like, FW meta and probably be fine. And then okay, so we're going to get a Superiority. I'm assuming that was cast onto the Seamstress. Where did he cast? Because that was in Dead Magic Zone. Was that actually Hades' just? Yeah, that was Fallis' Despoil. So Mangler, yeah. So there's the first Reconstruct of many this game. And I mean, that Shaman just going to life siphon it up slowly but surely from that Corrupted Guardian. And, you know, the 4 HP on this Mason Spire, like he doesn't even need to sit in that font. You can just leave. But that's a lot of Nora to contest a font. So Suppressor, man, the Suppressor is going all the way. He's going all the way across the map. He's made a very long journey this game, from this font to that one, and then all the way up to this one. He's gonna hit every font on this map by the end of this game. It's like a round Pox Nora in 80 days, featuring Stitched Suppressor. And Hades transfigures. Okay, so hello, Aramalian. Welcome to the field. I mean, he's going to lend his mace to the fight. You know, it's like Hades is already in a good position. Like once he wins this font back, he'll be fine. And I guess from Fallis's perspective, it's like, oh, my opponent transfigured. That'll put a dent in his Nora. And he's chewing through these relics. Stitched Shaman unable to escape anymore. Yeah, but this has been a wacky game so far. I mean, there have been plays that I've disagreed with, but from between these guys, it happens to be working. So it's like whatever works, right? It's like how in a lot of battle royale type of games, like you don't have to be the best. All you have to do is be better than your opponent, and then you'll be fine. And of course, as you increase in skill level, that of course changes. Your opponents change, so you have to keep improving. And I mean, there are metrics that you can use to like judge accurately. Like in League of Legends, for example, you can say, yeah, I get 80 CS by 10 minutes, but you don't always have to hit those numbers. All you have to do, again, is to be better than your opponent, and you'll be fine. That's sort of what I'm getting at. So in this situation, these two players might not be the best, but one of them is going to be better than their opponent, and they'll end up winning. So Bonewing, I guess he'll mop up that Relic, and then Suppressor is going to teleport. It's actually kind of unfortunate for Fallis that all he has is 2x2s, because Suppressor is just going to teleport to this like back square near the water, and these guys will not be able to walk through. I mean, with the Shaman possessed, that takes away Hades' magic damage option. But I mean, you could decapitate the spirit. Like, I don't know how that's supposed to work, decapitating a ghost, but he could do it if he's under the threshold. Fascinate, wreaking havoc on Fallis' positioning here. And yeah, Disturbed Spirit. Is he going to do it? No, he can't. The Mesmer has 6 damage. He's going to do like 2. Yeah, 2 damage there. And not enough charges on the Seamstress for a cone. And yeah, down here, like Hades could still walk around that relic and keep the Corrupted Guardian at bay. He sunk a lot of Nora into the relics to keep that font contested, but like, I mean, the font's contested and Stitched Shaman is alive. Oh no, you could have... Okay, well, he attacked instead of walking away. Now Corrupted Guardian is just going to kill it. So yeah, he had some AP to spare, but he could have used to walk away, and just dodge around the font, because Corrupted Guardian's a 2x2. But he did not. He left himself in attack range. Unfortunate. And now, I mean, he's got to make the most use of his avatar, right? Not sure if... yeah, Blood Offering is a sacrifice, so it shouldn't leave a remains behind from these Stitched. But it is magic damage, so if Hades has to, he could Blood Offering into the Disturbed Spirit, and then Mangler could decapitate it. That'd be a play I'd like to see. There we go. Stitched Suppressor has completed its magical journey around the map, hopping into every single font, at least once. And I mean, I knocked that Black Pearl early on, but I mean, it's been pretty good for Hades so far. Like, it's let him like contest all these fonts and drop the relics. So the most use a Stitched Suppressor has ever gotten, not even for his intended purpose either. So Fallis is going to have his work cut out for him trying to chase that thing down, especially because the Yeti is now lumbering. Oh yeah, Wadey didn't even do anything. He actually caught up anyway. And there's another blinking. So more dread, more unspeakable. And I mean, it would be great if Fallis could get his champions all in the same place, but they're kind of spread out right now. This is probably going to be a long, slow grind fest. Games versus Forsaken Waste usually are, but the Corrupted Guardian... Wait, the Corrupted Guardian didn't kill the Shaman. Why not? What am I missing here? He hit the Mason Spire instead. I guess because, well, no, because Seamstress already reconstructed that Mangler, so it should be fine to kill, right? I mean, yeah, I would have just killed the Shaman and left the Relic for later, but... Because, like, it's not in range of any other reconstructors. So you might as well just take the champion out of the equation. Because now, like, I mean, now that gives the Hades an opportunity to, again, just run around to the other side of the font out of Corrupted Guardian's range. So more Fascinate, more dragging of the closer, or, wait, that was in English. More dragging champions more closer. Yeah. Bone Wing, and I mean, that actually puts him in Petrifying Gaze range, but I mean, these guys are all pretty low anyway, so it's not like Fallis it would be advisable for Fallis to do that. Oh, maybe, oh, you know what? Maybe the reason he didn't hit the Shaman was because Fallis was like, oh, I'm decaying, I can't hit champions or I'll take damage. And maybe Fallis was like, oh, okay, I'll hit the Relic instead. Yeah, that's probably what it came down to. Oh, he's gonna do it. He's gonna decapitate the ghost. Yeah, there you go. Lop off that ghost's head, however that's supposed to work. So there it goes. And, well, the Avatar is moving up pretty close. Oh, do it. Reaper's Blade. Please. Moby plus Reaper's Blade. Kill that Aramalian. I'd love to see it. Meanwhile, Serinda coming in here from the back. Popping, what the hell was this again? The Seamstress, yeah. I don't know, man. That was a pretty much full HP Seamstress. I would have waited and pulled back one of the Manglers or something to sacrifice instead. But I don't know. She'll get a Blackguard out of it, I guess. And ooh, this is actually a Serinda with Death Harvest. Okay, so I've always thought, I mean, yeah, Eradicate's good. Like, you want Eradicate, right? But Death Harvest is pretty good and Stitched as well. Like, your shit's all going to be dying and reconstructing. It's not a bad upgrade. It's just I think people like Eradicate because it provides a counter that Stitched don't really have access to otherwise. Like the big instant loss of life burst. I mean, you could just run Soulbane for that, but Soulbane is like a spell, and yeah. And he also has Violence Charge. Now, Violence Charged, of course, is a terrible choice because you don't have any way to spend your charges if you take that upgrade and a Death Harvest at the same time. But I mean, it keeps her cheaper, I guess, doesn't it? I think Corruption is the only other viable option on that line. So, yeah. And then, yeah, the blood, we did see the blood offering there to kill that blinking creeper. So Fallis gradually getting whittled away. And 1 damage on that Stitched Suppressor. It didn't start with much, but now it has nothing. That's basically my life in a nutshell. So Shaman going to go down to the Aura here, and Corrupted Guardian finally able to slam into that Shaman. Probably feels pretty good for him. He beat through 2 relics just to get to him. And I guess Stitched Mana, yeah, well, it's a little late for Stitched first, but, you know, better late than never. And then Fallis, I guess, I mean, he's not in a good position. Like, he needs to win back his fonts, but fucking Hades just keeps dropping 30 HP relics in the way. So, like, eh. You know what I'd like to see is Defiling Spinal right here, between 2 Mason Spires. Defiling Spinal with Mason Spires in the way is like 50 HP, and it's kind of nuts. But I haven't seen anyone take advantage of that buff yet in that way. Now we're going to see Immobilization. Man, Fallis is like, that Suppressor has gotten too much value. I need to kill it ASAP. So he mobies to kill the Suppressor. Takes it down, finally. And then, I mean, I guess Bone Wing can get a hit on the Relic. But that is a dead Bone Wing. I mean, 10, well, actually 8. Now he'll die from, or no, he won't die from that Aura. But it will be a little bit more damage through Elusive. And Fallis deciding to transfigure now, fight Avatar v Avatar. Oh, I want to see them hit each other. It's so rare that you get to see avatars hit at each other in this game. Usually someone surrenders before they even have to transfigure. Unless you're a filthy KF player, then you can transfigure whenever the hell you want. But Fallis does win the bottom font. Of course, first in range for the contest. Can just move on in. He should... Oh, he's 1 space out of Relocate Relic range. Sag. So Corrupted Guardian probably going to take that thing out. And then Serinda reconstructs a Blackguard. So Hades is in a pretty comfortable position. He's on 2 fonts to 1 for the moment. Then Mesmer, I mean, Mesmer is going to Soul Sift out of there, so he should be all right. In terms of Nora, he's gotten a little bit extra from the Soul Tap that the Tome gives. Death Nova, of course. So we're going to see some aura, yeah, more passive damage. And even Aramalian could just walk up for its Searing Aura, do a little bit more. What is this now? 1 space? God, this ability is... Man, okay, so, Alakami. I know you're going to be our beloved dictator very soon. As long as Booza doesn't overtake you. But please, make one of your first orders of business to buff avatars again. Rorschach was talking about doing it. We all know most avatars just aren't cutting it anymore in terms of abilities. Like, their stats are great, of course. But these abilities are just so bad. Like, come on. 1 space and 2 fire damage. That's all it is. 2 fire damage. I mean, like, come on. You gotta do something to help these guys out. Bring back Shrine Scry, buff avatar abilities, make Transfiguring worth it for factions that aren't KF and ST. And that's what I want to see. That's what I want for Christmas, is buffed avatars. So Bonewing takes down the Hexer, and gets the Globe. Sorry, the Mesmer and gets the Globe. And then, Fallis is winning back his fonts. I don't know why I keep calling him Fallis. I think it's because at the start I said, yeah, it's short for fellatio, but and that's where my mind has gone since then. Corrupted Guardian, of course, hitting the first, not really going to do anything because of Reconstitute, but it does life siphon itself up, making it harder to kill. I mean, Corrupted Guardian is still crazy efficient. I know he's only faced like a shaman this game, but this guy still rocks. Like, you deploy him first turn in zombies, and he's like your only 8-speed deploy. But Fallis currently on just stacking up that Dread, stacking up that Frightful Aura, and then you've got Zarimal with 7 defense. Lovely. And was that a wait? Why are you suddenly eternal? What happened here? What is that from? Am I missing something? Why is Bonewing eternal? Because that's usually only something that happens when there's a vampire's crest around. All right. Well, I guess something is giving him eternal. Someone in the comments point out what I'm missing in this situation. But Serinda... Oh, okay, so now we see why Serinda has violence charged. Hades is running Mail of Barbs for her. Okay. That's kind of clever. I would like to see... I don't know, it still seems like a waste of an upgrade. Because you can just... This is all the more reason that you do take Eradicate if you're running Mail of Barbs, like, because you can just stack up Eradicate so fast. I mean, Serinda, like, Abuse Charged is terrible on Serinda, because when are you ever going to want to get attacked? There's 2 Serindas. There's a full HP Serinda, and then there's a dead Serinda. There's really no in-between if you're against Stitched. But there's... Oh, wow. Okay, so now I see where the Eternal comes in. Reanimate on the Bonewing. So Fallis actually reanimated on that Bonewing. 65 Nora for the redeploy. And I mean, it's basically a cheaper deploy of Bonewing, right? So it's like he deployed a fresh one just now. But it does also leave a globe for him, so he could grab that and get a little bit of a refund. And I should have known that right away, but like, who the fuck runs Reanimate? That's why I love these low elo games. It's like, you never know what you're gonna get. Like, someone reanimating a Bonewing. So all these Stitched are going to take a Disease Breath to the face. And then, I'm guessing Risen Yeti is just going to charge in. I mean, that's a lot of defense. Like, 2 Frightful Aura. He could even deploy Mist of the Dead. Oh, please deploy Mist of the Dead, Fallis. I've had faith in you this entire game. I want to see Mist of the Dead for more Frightful Aura. Because, I mean, Frightful Aura plus Arrow Eater here, that would go pretty hard. Serinda couldn't hit it. Shaman couldn't hit it. Like, you've got... couple 1 to 2 ranged champions that couldn't hit it. And then, yeah, it would buff your defense. He is... Oh, you got to get in Frightful Aura for the Bonewing. Move over again. Do it. 1 space. You can do it. Nope, he's going to cast Despoil instead. So now, I mean, now we know what's up. Now we know that there's probably a a dead zone voodoo sitting out somewhere. Now, if Hades was paying attention, he could move his avatar into it and just eat it that way, because avatars can't lose AP from that. So and they can't be knocked back either. So kind of a silly move here from Fallis. Oh, we did move over one. Good. He moved over two. Even better. So I mean, yeah, like Hades could just walk into that with his avatar and waste it. But another Elsa and Knight. So yeah, Fallis is going all in on the spells, realizing, I mean, he should be deploying, like, more Dread. Like, I wonder if he's running Angel of Death with Dread. It makes her, like, 87 Nora. But, I mean, you could be doing it. And see here, 11, 6... so the Corrupted Guardian has 7 defense right now, 6 plus tough. So Serinda is actually 1... No, she's actually going to kill it perfectly with her 11 damage. She can get 11 and then a charged attack for another hit. So yeah, that Corrupted Guardian should be dead. Oh no, wait, it's elusive because of yeah, I forgot the Mist of the Dead was cast. Ooh, man, this is like my, what is it, my 5th game I've recorded today. I've recorded a lot today just because I've had a lot of time. I've had today off, so I decided, you know, I haven't gotten a game up on the channel, as many games as I've wanted to in a while, so I'll record a bunch today. And then just upload them as I go, like one at a time. But yeah, recording too much of these games, it really does take a lot out of you. I'm kind of feeling now the YouTuber grind, as they say. Even though I'm not really a YouTuber, I'm just role playing as one in my spare time. But Risen Yetis are going to take some beats here, and Serinda, wisely avoiding hitting into elusive. I probably would have made that mistake and attacked into elusive. But even though I was complaining about new players doing it all the time. I mean, hey, if you've been playing this game for like 7 to 8 hours a day, like some people in our community are known to. Not going to name any names, but you make mistakes like that. Like you just know, like you know as the action is happening. Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, and then you realize, man, maybe it's time I go touch some green stuff. But Mason Spire in the font again. And this time, I mean, Fallis can kill it. He can just hit it twice. But there is also a War Banner. So Hades really putting pressure on the fonts now. And I mean, like Fallis can kill at least one of these stitched, but I don't think he has the AP around to kill a Relic now. So I mean, the Shaman, the Serinda can always reconstruct. I mean, that Corrupted Guardian actually. You could maybe, let's see, if he Essence Drains the first, you could maybe win that font, because it'll go down to 25, then 12, no, he doesn't have the damage. Because you do 12 and 11 is 22. But he kills the Blackguard instead, up here. And so, he's not, like, somehow Hades is actually not able to break through. Like, he will eventually. Like, the Risen Yeti will probably go down next turn, as long as he walks out of all the Frightful Aura range, right? The Shaman can hit out of Frightful Aura range. Serinda can hit out of range. She is getting dreaded, though, by the Bone Wing. Are we going to see a dead first somehow? You could spam, like, 2 spells. Or, oh, no, you could cast Decay. But I don't think he's running that. Like, if you're running Corrupted Guardian with Life Siphon and shit, you probably aren't running Decay. But he could. And, no, he's just going to leave it regenerate again. So this is just like a big old sustain battle down here. This game has gone on for really longer than it should have, to be honest. But, I mean, the avatars are in close proximity. See, here, I mean, if Hades doesn't retreat, I could definitely see a Reaper's Blade. There's already been 1 Moby. But there might just be a second. Love to see it. I think Reaper's Blade is one of those runes that all new players love as well, because it's like Soul Strike. Man, that's a great ability. Like, I've seen people run Elsa and Reaper just for Soul Strike, and Reaper is a pretty efficient guy, like on his own. Man, that Corrupted Guardian. Okay, so the Corrupted Guardian is finally going to go down to a superiority, being left at 1 HP from the first attack. And yeah, I mean, that wins Hades the font, and that's probably the beginning of the end for Fallis here. Shaman gonna get a hit as well for 2, and oh man, there's the Dead Zone Voodoo. See, man, you should have eaten it with the Avatar. But Stitch Tyrant managing to clean up, and then absorbing that Relic for a little bit of a heal. Can you see the... Yeah, you can see the Stitchling Riders on here. So he's got 1, he's got 3 now, because Fallis has chosen not to attack it. Then Aramalian just walks up for a big old bop on the Blinking Creeper. And yep, Hades is in a very solid position now. He can get that Corrupted Guardian Globe. He can... oh, he's going for the Avatar. He's going to hit it with his with Zarimal. There you go. Now that's actually a pretty dangerous position here for Aramalian, because it can't retreat. Like, Zarimal is blocking, and there's a Soul Cage on Stitch Tyrant as well. So now, I mean, like, if you do disengage, you're going to take a bunch of damage from Divine Binding. And then, like, Fallis can chase you down, and, okay, well, Creeper didn't have to waste that AP, but I guess it did. Like, if he would have saved AP, I'm always waiting for the Reaper's Blade, but if he would have saved the AP and then Reaper's Bladed, I'm pretty sure that would have been a kill on his next turn. Because Tyrant can't get in there and block, and First can't quite make it up there either. Yeah, and Aramalian has nowhere to go. He overextended to drop those relics in Fallis' font. But I mean, Hades on 3 fonts, like, he should have the Nora for some kind of play here. I wonder if he'll do a Reaper's Blade, because he is half FW. He could do it. He could very well do it. He can't actually hit anything but the Avatar at the moment. So we'll see. This is really getting into the good bits. I mean, there have been some good bits, but like this is like right down to the end here. Aramalian very vulnerable as he tries to retreat here. And then, I mean, the Relic, the banner that's left is still kind of blocking that Blinking Creeper from chasing, but Aramalian couldn't quite retreat out of attack range. So maybe we will see another Moby. There's going to be an attack, or sorry, a charged attack, in this case, from Serinda. So we could see a Moby. There's already been one. I'm pretty sure it's on like 2 or 3 turn cooldown that's left. But there could be a second. There could be Anathema, maybe. Of course, with the Reaper's Blade, potentially. I mean, Hades is trying to block with the first. He deploys a Monolith, and man, Monolith... I don't know, Monolith seems pretty scary. Like, if you run... I've considered sometimes, like, Monolith in a KF split with Light as a Feather just to get rid of the Lumbering. Because this guy's a beast. Like, look at these fucking stats. 80 HP, 20 damage from Strength of Body, and then, you know, Relic Guardian for even more. Like, you could build a decently strong Super Champ deck around Monolith, I would think. Like, especially back... Does anyone remember the old days of Stitched Monolith with 120 HP? This was back when Wave Crusher had like 160, and man, that was something else. If you guys weren't around during that time, you were really missing out, because Monolith had crazy. I can't even remember all of his abilities. He was like one of the most expensive champions in the game. But Zarimal goes in for another hit. And Blinking Creeper, Fallis is really trying his heart out here. He needs to cut off the retreat of Aramalian somehow, but he can't quite manage it. And he can do okay, so he's doing a Weaken onto Serinda, and Weaken's actually a decent debuff. I know Carnivore used to like running Devolve just because it was a decent cheap debuff. And Weaken is pretty much in the same vein. It's got, I mean, minus 10 damage. In some ways, it's actually better than Devolve, because Devolve only cuts stats in half, whereas Weaken decreases damage by a flat amount. It decreases defense as well. So it's nice. I like it for in certain situations. And there's the Mist of the Dead. There's my boy, my favorite contesting relic in Forsaken Waste. Arrow Eater, come on, like Arrow Eater, 30 Nora, you get a debuff, you get spell resistance. I know it doesn't do anything except sit there, but you gotta figure this thing is going to be annoying. Like, if you're in a font versus a ranged champion, like, what are they going to do? Like, it's a relic, and they can't even like spell spam it to death. I just like the idea of running this thing. Ooh, there's the black. Oh, so now the true strategy comes out. Black Pearl onto Stitched Monolith to avoid the lumbering. I mean, Aramalian is out of harm's way now. Now, Mist of the Dead is actually kind of blocking the Bone Wing. So Bone Wing is blocked in by Bazaar, by Mist, and then by 2 champions. I'm kind of hoping this game ends soon because my voice is starting to go. But Fallis, man, this is literally your one chance. You can't really do anything else. I wonder if it's Corrupt Blast off cooldown. I wonder. He's going for the 7 damage hit by blinking. If Corrupt Blast is off cooldown, he could... no, Moby wouldn't be enough because blinking only does 7. And there's no way Corrupt Blast would do 19. He hasn't actually deployed anything but that mist in a while, so he might be sitting on a bunch of Nora. It's not likely, though. With only one font and being transfigured, are we going to see a dead avatar? No. Aramalian is just going to hit the shaman. So I'm thinking he doesn't have the spells. And I mean, now Hades is free to just run as far away as possible. Because the Blinking Creeper is dead, Cursed Blade isn't going to matter. And I mean, yeah, Monolith is just sitting in the way. The Fear, I mean, he's trying. He's definitely trying to get there, but the Avatar is free to roam as it pleases now. And yeah, 80 HP of Monolith meat in Zarimal's face. Not giving him much room to retreat either, actually. Because I mean, like, he's blocked off at the edge of this map here, and he's blocked in by Hades' banner that's still in this font. Fallis completely ignored it and went after the Avatar. I think that's something that's a trap players tend to fall into, is that when the opponent transfigures and their avatar is right there, like, they go after the avatar and not go after the champions. Because in situations like these, like, you want to go after the champions if you can. Like, the avatar is just, in a way it's vulnerable, but it's not, because it's going to be blockaded by shit like this. And if it escapes somehow, then you're completely outnumbered because you focused all of your efforts into killing the avatar and didn't do it. So, and meanwhile, your opponent has just been deploying and out-positioning you the entire time because you're down on champions. And so that's basically this game in a nutshell, really. Is that Hades has been manipulating his avatar pretty well, keeping it out of harm's way. That font contest was bold, and it actually paid off for him because it kept Fallis down on Nora. And his own champions are still nice and healthy because they haven't been attacked. Except for the shaman. The shaman got 1 hit, but that's it. And then there's the magician, yeah. So Hades is going to be doing pretty well for himself now. Zarimal is still at 100 HP, but I mean, it's trapped now. Like, the Monolith has trapped it, the Tyrant has trapped it. And, I mean, I kind of just want to end it here, but because I know it's just going to be a slow crawl towards Fallis' inevitable defeat. Because, like, yeah, the Tyrant has a Cursed Blade, but once that Weaken on Serinda wears off, Zarimal should be going down, inevitably. And then out comes the Stitched Shaman Relic. I mean, he's got to kill it. Like, Fallis has to get rid of that Relic, otherwise he's going to have, like, another Stitched in his face. But he can't, because all he's got right now is Zarimal and the Bone Wing. Zarimal is out of attack range. Although, I guess Corrupt Blast could kill it. But I don't think... Yeah, Corrupt Blast isn't even going to do enough damage. Yeah, 55%. That'll be like, what, 11? And the Relic has 12 because of the Mason Spire. So instead he just 2 hits that Bazaar, taking away Monolith's Relic Guardian. Yeah, Arimal is going to be super duper safe from now on. He dooms... Okay, so Fallis dooms the Stitched first. And honestly, I don't think you're going to be able to last 6 turns. I think that the game is going to be over before Stitched first inevitably dies to doom. And, well, what do you know? I called it. Hades takes the game. So there it is. Well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.